I like race car. Hello, my name is Shannon and I love to draw. Hello, Shannon. Just keep drawing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live drawing. Hello, Stephen Mwaseki Bo- Boheshwari Gautam. Hello, Arnav. Hello. Bohemeswari Gautam, how to draw hair. You can draw, like for example, to achieve really dark shadows for the hair. I don't just use one layer to achieve this. Actually, I put several layers until you achieve the correct darkness of the hair. So, to draw hair, it needs to be a layering technique also. Because if you just put pressure to achieve very dark uh, shadows of the hair, if you are using graphite, it will have the tendency to shine or to bloom. So do it by layering dark pencils. Go layer after layer with lighter pressure. Arnav, you have used grid method this time. Yes, this time I used grid method, but it's a little bigger grids, like 1 by 1 inches. So I started blending the dark shadows, but I couldn't use the same part of the tissue for the lighter shadows. So I need a clean tissue. Stephen Weiss Weissage. I couldn't pronounce it. Sorry. What type of paper are you using? Actually, I'm using graphite pencils, but the paper that I'm using right now is the Strathmore colored pencil paper. I love using Strathmore colored pencil papers, even with graphite, because I love the texture of the colored pencil paper. It has a very nice, very defined, although very tiny but very defined textures or details. I love that effect of the texture of the colored pencil paper by Strathmore. Vomeshwari, what is your Instagram account? The same. BMD Portraits. It's also called BMD Portraits. So what you can see that I'm blending right now with tissue is not yet the real skin tone. This is just I call it shadowed base tone. So this is just building the base tone with shadows. So I'm still gonna layer the actual skin tone to make it more realistic after I blend this like geometric shadowed base tone. BMD is my initials, but I don't know. I don't wanna. I wanna preserve my real name, but yeah, actually that is what I consider my legal name here on the social media, BMD, across all platforms. Okay, now I want a cleaner side of the tissue again for the highlighted areas or parts. You, Arnav, you got this reference from Pinterest? Yes, you're right. Actually, I do different styles with graphite. I do hyperrealism with graphite pencils, but this time this is like a little bit of from semi. It's like between semi-realistic and realistic. So this is not um, like what would usually do with other drawings that I showed here on YouTube. Hyper realistic graphite pencils. This time this is a quicker style. This is like a looser style, not too hyper, but a little bit in between semi to realistic. As you can see here, you can really tell from the geometric shadings here that this is not super hyper realistic. It's a little bit more like an expressive style. How long did it take before you mastered hyperrealism? Um, uh, Actually, it's not very long ago because I started with just like semi to realistic, and because I didn't have the patience and the time to always do hyperrealism because hyperrealism consumes tons and tons of months and hours to complete. That's why I do it once in a while, but um, for most of the time, I want something that is like this, a little bit expressive, not hyper realistic, but It's still realistic, and at the same time it still looks like a drawing, because hyperrealism is almost looks like a photograph. Actually, it's not necessarily photorealistic, but hyperrealistic is you almost like recognize it as a photograph, almost like a photograph. And I did that like I think I started around 5 years ago with hyperrealism, but I don't want to do it often, because I don't want to. I don't have the patience and the time for that. Okay, now I'm using my kneaded eraser to pick up some highlights. I use H and HB pencils for skin tones because they were so light in reference, but when it got completed, it looked kind of too light in reality. In reference, it was light area though. What should I do? Actually, that is just an optical illusion, because if especially if you haven't drawn dark shadows or the hair, if you are starting with just the face and if you use H or HB, from your perspective it will look dark, but it's actually not dark. So that's why it's important to use at least up to the B pencil or even 3B for the skin tone. um, it's okay if it looks dark when for the skin tone, but when you add hair, which is like a black hair for example, uh, it will drown out all those shadows. So yeah, that always happens, especially for beginner artists, that you might think that you are going too dark already, but when you put uh, like for example, if you put charcoal powder to the hair, all those shadows that might look dark when you started will just drown out by the charcoal powder or the darkest or darker pencils. So yeah, just make a nice balance, not too dull, but also not too dark. Stephen um, Weissing. Weissig. Are you conversant with the Loomis method? I'm not very. I'm not an expert with the Loomis method. I know the idea of the Loomis method, but I'm not. I don't use it and I don't practice it with my portraits. Swaham Tiwari, love from India. Hello, Swabam Tiwari, hello from India. Shabari Tiwari, where are you from? I'm from the Philippines. Arnav, can tissue paper replace brush? If you don't have brush, it's a very good substitute, but I think it's also better if you have both because there are certain control for the blending that brush can do uh, that the tissue can't. If there are very sharp pencil strokes that you want to blend, you can use tissue. But if you want something to blend a little bit, but you still want to maintain the textures of the skin tone, then the brush is great for that kind of blending. So this is graphite 4B. I want to sharp pencils like that. I always break the lead. Is there any technique? I just use a sharp cutter knife, and yeah, luckily for me, it doesn't really break. You really need to be extra careful. Hello, our art and craft. Thank you so much. Arnav, at which age you thought of becoming an artist? Well, I, I can for as long as I can remember, I always loved to sketch, to draw. Even if at a very young age, I realized that I'm getting towards becoming an artist uh, when I was already in college. In high school, I thought I just loved drawings, but never thought of pursuing something that is art related. I always thought I would be in business, or I would be like owning a company, something like that. But yeah, fate, I think, uh, led me to this is my passion, and now it's something that I can consider a job already. So, and I started realizing that it can be a job, it can be, you can earn something from it. I just realized it after college. I still even worked before on a private company, and then when I resigned, that's when I realized that I want to practice more, and to when I was already earned some money and have some savings already, that I can afford to buy art materials. That's when I started being serious with practicing different genre, or rather different mediums. And then I realized that I am into realistic portraiture, that is the path that I'm interested on walking on the realism with pencils, using pencils. I tried water mediums or liquid mediums before, but I'm not really into that kind of genre. This is what something that I developed over the years. Sulaiman Bah. Hi, would you tell me what type of paper you're using? This is a medium surface paper. It's called Strathmore colored pencil paper. So it's a bit weird that I'm using a colored pencil paper on a graphite drawing, but yeah, it's working, I think. Arnab, do your relatives get surprised when they see your artworks? Well, my relatives are no longer surprised because all my life they see me drawing everywhere, even in my How much time do you take when you draw the outlines at the most? As much as possible, I want to make it really quick. As much as possible, I should finish the outline with just one sitting as much as possible because I can say I realize that most of the effort should be on the building the actual skin tone. So the if I can do it in one sitting, I will definitely do it. The pencil never go judge. By the way, my pencil never goes into that much depth. How do you do that, or what kind of pencil do you use? I just use like for graphite. It doesn't get as dark as you want it to be. It only is limited to some kind of darkness. Even if, like for example, on her eyes, I already use the 9B graphite pencil, but it wouldn't get us, although it's already very dark as you can see right here, but I'm still adding some depth and some darkness on her eyes using, this is not graphite, this is what I call my dark pencil. I only use it on certain parts that I wanted to like super dark. So this is the Cretacolor Nero. This is an oil-based charcoal pencil. So this is perfect for graphite because unlike regular charcoal pencils that is powdery, this is like very oily, just like graphite, but very dark. Arnav, what matters most, pencils or paper? That's a very good question. Actually, they're equally important. Some artists would say that pencils are more important, or the medium itself, and the paper is lesser of that importance. But I disagree with that. I believe that paper is hugely important to a portrait. Aside from the archival property, or like there are papers that are with acid, there are papers that are acid free, and as much as possible you need to use the acid free papers, but the quality of the paper is important because if the paper is not good, the texture is not good, particularly with colored pencils for example, I believe that even if you use the best colored pencils in the world, but if you are using a lesser quality paper, it will just ruin the most expensive pencils. So you really need, if you are going to have a very good pencil, you need to have to partner it with a very good paper. So paper is very crucial on a good portrait because good pencils will never perform good on bad papers. But even with bad colored pencils, it will still look better on a good paper. Dog Dogify. Which color pencil do you use? I use for wax based. I use Prismacolor. For oil based, I use Polychromos. Those two are my top colored pencils. But I also use lesser quality colored pencils. I even use kids colored pencils because I want to show beginners that you don't need expensive colored pencils yet if you are still practicing. That's why I have quite a range of different qualities of colored pencils. I have the kids grade, I have the mid-rangers colored pencils, and I have the artist grade colored pencils. For the artist grades, I use Prismacolor and Polychromos. Judge, or do you start and finish with sketch, then go for shades, or 50-50 at the same time? I start with a complete outline or complete sketch first, and then I start drawing the actual skin tone after sketching. Shabana Pathan, thank you so much. Dogify also, how do you say it? So realistic. I do it with using the layering technique. I don't use it by just going into my dark pencil and just draw with just one layer. I do it with several layers, and then I make sure that in between layering I blend and then I erase for the highlights.